RR's Range podcast, starring the unbeatable Josh Davidson, the unstoppable Caspar Hyde, and the unbearable Max Bryan. RR's Range would like to take this opportunity to express its support of the dark and mighty Sepulchre, the only presidential candidate capable of effecting real change.
Hello again. Welcome to another RR podcast, where this week there seems to be an ongoing theme, but that will either become swiftly apparent to you, or we'll have to explain it at the end.
Maybe to our younger audience.
Maybe to our younger audience, which we really, if there's a young parents, if you find your children watching the Rodolfo's Revenge podcast, you may want to restrict their internet limits somewhat.
Indeed.
Not that we want to shrink our viewership any more than it already is, but
it probably is. Just
I don't think many children are watching anyway, so
we can only hope.
Yeah.
We should be fine.
Anyway,
well,
Casper, you want to start us?
Yeah, well, as you may or may not know, the New York Comic Con has been going on for the last couple of days. So there's been loads of comic news, but I'm just going to go with the most interesting one, which is quite interesting actually. For all the fans of Phil Coulson, from the Avengers and multiple other Marvel movies, is now going to reprise his role. The actor Clark Gregg will reprise his role as Phil Coulson in a live-action S.H.I.E.L.D. television series.
How awesome does that sound?
So that's going to be
seriously.
I don't know.
Yeah, they wasn't the news they called him in to do the pilot.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You can imagine the pilot. They
He
just
might
gonna,
only be in the pilot though. Still.
still a live-action S.H.I.E.L.D. series
Would be amazing.
He's so popular,
And
that
it would
could
be
take off.
It would be great if
Would
he was
take
one of the major
It would be
characters.
great if it were about him.
that would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Hasn't he already got his own comic series?
Yeah, he's been in plenty of stuff. He's had the characters had a cameo in the Spider-Man animated series that is currently running. I can't remember what it's called, Amazing or Ultimate or something. It's so many different names. But in the new one, he's actually a fairly big character at the moment.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing how much popularity it's gotten.
It's good though, because it shows how people can relate to characters who aren't necessarily the main characters of what they're supposed to be watching.
Yeah.
And it can create sort of that character can almost become an in-joke or something that the audience can
Exactly.
Roots.
That's kind of what it became. I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he became.
It's funny because he started like generic S.H.I.E.L.D. guy.
Agent he did,
Yeah.
yes. But I
And
don't
then became that great character.
He did,
It's,
yeah.
It's cool. It's quite cool.
No, it's cool that he's getting that, because we will be watching that series, and, so will you. You guys definitely will. If you're anything like us, which, because you're watching our podcast, we assume you are.
Also, there's some fun news for Mass Effect fans.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember Blasto, Blasto 6 actually, Partners in Crime from Mass Effect 3. There's actually going to be a comic made about this Spectre.
Wait, is he a Spectre?
Yeah, it's
He's
the
a
first.
piece of,
It's the
like-
first Honor Spectre. I have no idea how Honor can be a Spectre.
He looks like a sort of gone wrong jelly thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they are. But
Now I know
yeah, it's a
nothing
bit
about
of
Mass
comedy.
Effect.
It's a bit of comedy. Well, you don't have to know much than seeing that
Yeah.
this is just a big jellyfish thingy.
He could dual wield the shit out of weapons, couldn't he? He could have like so many guns at the same time.
The dual wielding is quintuple wielding.
You know, it shouldn't be really hard to kill with bullets and stuff. He can't really wear armor.
Yeah, what?
So anyway, with that, we'll lead over to gaming news.
Yeah, sure, okay, well, after that delightful thing.
Oh, God.
So we talked about that theme, right? Now Sony, I suppose all the big gaming developers, so Sony, Xbox, all that, Microsoft even, they want to push the boundaries of how we play games, and obviously the Kinect was one of the most recent ones that have, and Wii is a classic example. Sony, I think they missed a trick on this one. They've patented a Move controller that heats up in your hand. Amazing, right? how much is that going to enhance my gameplay?
Apparently it's supposed to represent gun cooldown if you're playing a first-person shooter, but beyond that, I really can't
Or if you're
see.
hit by a fireball or something.
Or if you're
I
hit by a
can't
fireball.
see it for anything else
And
than sexual.
what's funny is that they even said that they go to use the light that's on top of the Move controller. The one it can change colour. They said when it's cooled down, it would go from hot red to cool blue. That just does the job on its own. Why do we need the hot and cold? They also said that it would be great for sweaty gamers. You know, ones that clam the controllers too tight. And
There's something that they probably won't be putting on the box. Great for sweaty gamers.
But as they've had comments and whatnot, it seems that they're getting ever closer to the sex toy industry.
There'll be a picture of this flashing up now on your...
It already looks
on
like
your
a
screens.
dildo.
It looks like some sort of sex toy. It does.
It really, really does.
And the fact that it...
Heats up and
and
cools
the fact
down.
that it heats up and cools down, it almost seems deliberate. It's like nobody could be that naive or innocent.
In the sex toy industry, this would be like a revelation. It would be the equivalent of, the week out,
unless Sony is just a huge front for the,
I'm
for the
beginning to
sex toy
think
industry.
there is something brewing here. But happy times had for all. It's unintentional use. But we don't really want to see any adverts for this particular controller being built by
certainly
children.
we don't. Yes,
That would,
Be weird.
yeah,
be odd.
really.
Put it simple.
Right, from the... I'm just recovering from that particular discussion there. From the world of movies, still nothing of comics this week, interestingly enough. We finally got a release date for... It's on my birthday! We finally got a release date for Ant-Man, which will be coming on November the 6th, 2015.
I'll be 25 when I see that.
Which is still a long way. Well,
That's ages.
Yeah, you'll be 25 when you see it. Will you have matured a single day? I very much doubt it. And it's to be directed by Edgar Wright, the director of the stellar Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which co-wrote Steven Spielberg's The Adventures of Tintin, and worked on Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, according to Wikipedia, which I've got open at the moment. Reliable source.
Well, that's common knowledge too, though.
Yeah, it is. But no, we loved Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I can't remember who it was that said this, but I might have read it in Empire magazine. They said the 90s are the new 80s.
What?
And apparently the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World movie, with that fabulous sort of surreal thing they had going on with stuff flashing up on the screen and
Like a game.
based like a game interface and a video game layout, video game plot with bosses, was apparently representative of the 80s, the new 90s nostalgia factor. And while I can't see him bringing that same thing to Ant-Man, it would be cool, but I can't see that happening. But
Maybe
I can
the
still,
vintage comic thing.
I can still see Edgar Wright embracing that kind of campy, funny quirkiness that Scott Pilgrim delivered so magnificently. Scott Pilgrim is still, to me, the best contemporary geek movie. It's a movie made for people like us. And if that were brought to Ant-Man, which apparently is going to be, because it's another Marvel movie, apparently there's some potential for
Fit
crossover.
in the universe.
There's some potential for
Obviously,
crossover with the
going to be
Avengers.
with the
universe.
Avengers in the second Avengers movie. Because Ant-Man was one of the original Avengers.
Yeah.
Also, I've actually seen, they released a short clip, just to show how Ant-Man might be.
Yeah.
Which was just a fight scene, and it was just shown to a select couple of people.
Yeah.
But one of those people made it into a storyboard saying thingy.
Really?
Made a video out of it.
Oh,
Well, I
wow.
can't find it now, but I've seen that, and it's really creative with the whole fighting style of Ant-Man. How he jumps and shrinks and lands on the gun of a guy. The guy can't see him, and then he suddenly he grows and kicks him. So it's kind of like
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But Marvel's really doing well with this kind of stuff, the more obscure, but definitely potential for fun.
Yes.
Movies, Guardians of the Galaxy,
Galaxy,
Rocket Raccoon, can't wait for.
Which they actually, Guardians of the Galaxy, they've also started a new comic book series.
Really?
Of
Bringing
Guardians
them
of the
back.
Galaxy now, with Iron Man added to the crew.
They're
Yeah,
basically doing.
That's cool.
They're basically doing with movies what the comics did with comics. They're creating a comic book universe with a comic book tone about it in movie form. That's fantastic. That's never been done before,
Exactly.
or at least not to this extent.
It's creating the one problem I have with it is how long it takes for the next thing to come out.
That's always
yeah.
a problem.
It's
But,
really
you know,
like 2015. That's insane.
If that's what it has to be for it to be qualified.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know they are being pretty good about this. They're churning out movies like
Like nobody's business.
so many movies coming out soon. Iron Man 3, Thor 2, Captain America 2.
The original Thor, apart from Avengers, is my favourite superhero movie of all time. So naturally, I cannot wait for Thor 2: The Dark World.
I can't wait for Iron Man 3 either. I really want to see the Extremis armor. Oh, that's gonna be wicked.
That's gonna be amazing.
We should probably
Yeah.
move on, and
Right,
this is where the second thing comes in.
Well, yeah.
Now, you may have seen this all over the internet. Everybody's been talking about this. The amazing fucking atheist did a video on this. That's how big it's gotten. I mean, something has to be pretty big to get the attention of TJ.
I'm making that angry.
And make him that angry.
Well, it doesn't take much to make
sense.
him angry.
It doesn't
Actually,
take much to make TJ angry, but it takes a lot to get his attention away from politics and atheism. And anyway, the popular is a massive understatement. We might put a link to TJ's video in this, actually.
I thought you were going to put the other side that we're referencing
Yes.
here, which...
Yeah, the popular porn site YouPorn has decided... Pornhub, not...
Yeah.
Is it? No, it's YouPorn.
No, it's Pornhub. Did you not say Pornhub?
No, it's YouPorn.
Well, we have to double check here.
Excuse us,
Well,
you might hear some funny noises here.
Well, okay.
One
No,
of them.
it's YouPorn.
Is it
Okay,
YouPorn?
YouPorn
Right, okay.
has decided that it's going to donate a certain amount of money from users watching their videos to a breast cancer charity or to fund breast cancer research, and already they've raised $6,000. I think
Basically,
it
it
was.
just
It's
works
not
that
very-
a user watches so many videos and then they donate. Did he say it was like 3 pence or a pence?
It was a cent.
Yeah, it was a cent. Yet they've raised 6,000 already.
Yeah.
How insane is that?
It's brilliant. But predictably,
Kicker.
here's the kicker. Yeah, there are certain. There's been a certain backlash to this with one cancer research charity, breast cancer research charity, rejecting the fucking funding because it's.
Well, we only know of the one as well. There could be
We
more.
we
but-
only know of the one. It's I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but
Doesn't matter.
I'll put it on the screen.
yeah, but just the fact that they have refused the money
You think?
because of where it comes
Yeah.
from.
I think it's sickening.
It
You know,
is
you can't.
sickening.
If your
It's
ultimate
disturbing.
goal is to save lives, you can't let petty morals like
Yeah.
that get in.
No.
Like, it's just
And
it's really.
and okay,
I can't understand it.
there's a strong argument for porn is objectifying and degrading women. That's definitely an argument that you could make, and I would agree with you to a certain extent with that argument. But something good is coming out of this. That's the thing. That's why morals and arguments like that, but in this case, can be put aside.
Yeah.
Because something so good is coming out of this. Something that is generating money for something that affects men and women across the world, but particularly women. If you're talking about women's issues in modern day context, breast cancer has to come up and porn has to come up. So it's combining the two.
And if that donation went up from a cent to say $1,
How much money would they raise?
Cancer would be cured overnight.
They would cure it overnight, yeah. It would just be, there would be no...
There'd be a massive surge in international revenue of the whole planet. All the money in the world would suddenly be diverted into the.
And it's not like it's a little website that they can ignore. It's the 16th most trafficked website in the world. This is up there with Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. What does that say?
What does that tell you? What does that tell you about how much money is?
As much as people would like to think that's like quite a bad thing for most males, it's still relevant. You know, you can't ignore that, and
it's. And no, none of us can understand, certainly TJ can't understand it, about what basis they have for rejecting this money, because the money is still good regardless of your ideology.
Exactly.
Again, if they still think it's about objectifying the women that do porn would still benefit it from such a way. I mean, there's so many of them, and breast cancer hits so many people. Someone in that industry is bound to be affected.
Yeah, if a porn star had to amputate, she'd lose her job.
Exactly.
She'd be out of her job. So
Yeah.
She'd be screwed.
Yeah.
bad pun.
There was just no way we were going to ever be able to handle this in a mature, responsible manner. There was always going to be something, wasn't
I
there?
apologise. The argument has been severely discredited.
Yes.
But the point remains that it's not fair to
No, it's not fair.
do that.
It's not. It's not. Not fair is too generous and too weak a term. It's
Yeah.
not right.
Yeah.
It's morally not
It is.
right. It's terrible, terrible, awful thing to do. It's not right, and I think that Komen for the Cure, I think the name is.
Yeah,
I think they
that's
should
the
take a
one.
look at
Yeah.
themselves, because I think it's disgusting.
But then they're saying that they welcome donations from anybody because it's so helpful to their cause. But
Yeah, as long as we agree morally with
Yeah.
what you're with the
It's not-
where you're generating the revenue from.
it's not about the
It's
people
not
they're supporting.
It's not like it's being generated from some criminal.
No, it's not drug money, is it?
It's not drug money. It's
It's
not.
like a
Ultimately
legitimate
beyond
thing.
principle.
Yeah.
It can only be a matter of principle and
I
a
mean,
matter of
they can't
morals.
lose face. They're cancer research.
Yeah.
You know,
I know.
no one will look at them and say, "Well, we won't take your cure."
Yeah.
Now that you've been funded by porn.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
willing
no.
to help me with my struggle to
Yeah.
survive? Oh, that's porn money, is it? I'd rather die.
Yeah. I'm dying from cancer, but I'm not going to get cured by porn money. No.
No, yeah, said nobody ever.
Yeah.
If they continue with this and they bump up the donation, they could literally raise more money for breast cancer than anything ever.
Or at least more consistently and
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
more constantly.
Well, this has been for just a couple of days, and it's already 6.
Well, I heard about it a couple of days ago. It might have been going for a couple of weeks.
But
In
they're
which case,
yeah.
certainly by now,
Well
more money than
targeted,
the $6,000
Yeah.
that the Amazing Atheist mentioned in his video has been raised, probably as much as twice that.
I mean, they said that we're targeted for 20, possibly 30k in the month, so
It's great.
that's an
That's
insane
good.
amount of money.
That's amazing.
And just think about all the people that could help, you know?
Boobs are being used to cure cancer. You
Boobs.
heard it here first, folks.
Boobs
Yep.
can do anything they put their mind to,
Besides fight gravity.
and that. So, on that note,
Have we got anything else to say on that?
No, I think that's it.
On that probably slightly politically incorrect bombshell, we'll leave you. Tune in next week, as usual. If you like us, subscribe, leave a comment, like this video.
follow
if
us
you're
on social media.
follow us in social media, like us on Facebook or Twitter.
All that jazz.
All that jazz. If you're watching this on YouTube, link to Rudolph Israel Engines down there. And thanks for watching again.
And remember, your night of porn could be doing something to save someone's life.
We'll leave
You
you with
wouldn't
that.
feel guilty ever again.
Ever. Cheers, guys.